What's up guys, it's Scenes here, back with another tutorial. So this time we're doing a photo shutter effect with still images and videos. You might have seen this effect in the Tory Lanez KLOK video, it's very similar. But it's a cool way of using still images and to add some energy to your edits. So in the description of this video, I've got a link to one file, so download it and drag it into your project. I've got it just here. The only other thing you'll need is some of your own still images and videos. And the great thing about this effect is that it really doesn't matter if they're low quality because we're going to heavily edit them and you'll only see them for a few seconds. So let's jump into it. So first I've got the file that I'll be putting in the description, and all you're going to need to do is right click, scroll down and click new sequence from clip. You can also drag this into your current sequence if you're already editing a video. So we've got it here. Let's try and zoom in a little bit so you can toggle this down here and zoom in and make it fill the whole sequence, because we're going to be doing one frame at a time, so you're going to need to zoom in a little bit. So in my project folder I've got a load of random pictures here. So first thing to do is drag the shutter that I've put in the description up to probably two channels up, so put it in V3 because we're going to be going underneath this. So first thing, get your first photo, drag it in. So we're going to need to resize this, so go over to the Effect Controls tab because this photo is a little bit bigger. It's obviously going to be a little bit different depending on how high resolution your photos are. So first thing to do is reduce the scale a little bit and go all the way to the bottom of your photo. So I'm right at the bottom here. You can also click on this motion tab here and you can see the sort of outlines of what you're working with. So then what you're going to do is you're going to go move one frame along using the arrow keys. You're then going to press C on your keyboard to get to the crop tool and you're going to make a cut there. Then press V to get back to the select tool and then click on the rest of that photo. You're then going to go back to the effect controls and move the position up a little bit. So maybe to about kind of a third of the way up. You're then going to use the arrow keys again to move one frame along. You press the C tool to get to the cut, make the cut, V to get to the select tool again, and click on the rest of your photo. You can see where this is going. So we're going to move it up a little bit more, not quite to the end, maybe like 2/3. Move one frame along, cut tool, make the cut, press V to get back to the select tool, click on the rest of your clip and move it just up to the top. Then we can move one frame along, use the cut tool, cut it, get back to the select tool by pressing V and get rid of the rest of your clip using the delete or backspace button. Then we're going to do the next photo. Alright, so drag that in. And this one we're going to do a little bit different. So the photo that we've got in the first one was a bit of a kind of vertical one. It's like kind of 9:16, whereas this one's a bit more of a horizontal landscape photo. So what we're going to do with this one, and this is totally personal preference, but what we're going to do is we're going to have it fairly zoomed in. So click on the motion tab and we can see how zoomed in we are, and we're pretty zoomed in here, so that's absolutely fine. So we'll stay there. So we're going to move one frame along, cut tool, make the cut, back to our select tool, click on the footage, and we're going to just take the scale in a little bit. Okay, move one frame along, cut tool, select the rest of your footage and zoom it out a little bit. And then last one, we're going to move one frame along, cut tool, make the cut, and then I'm just going to click on motion again so I can just see where I am, and then we're fine about there. So let's put it there. Move one frame along, cut tool, and get rid of that clip. So this is going to be a bit of a zoom in, so we're just adding a little bit of variation here. So I'm just going to do one more before I'll do the rest of them, and I'm going to drag in a video just to show you how to do it with a video. And literally it's exactly the same. So we're gonna move one frame along and we're going to cut. We're then not going to cut at this bit, we're going to cut further along in the clip. So you're going to need to move it quite a long way along the clip. So make the cut, V, to get back to your select tool and drag this over to one frame. So you can see if I move along with the arrow keys, I've just moved it along a little bit. So I can go one frame along, cut, and I'm going to go right over at this end again, make the cut, select tool, and drag it in. I'm then going to press cut again, going to cut right at the end of my sequence, V, and cut it too far. So I'm going to drag that all the way in. So I can move one frame again, cut tool, and I'm going to get rid of the rest of my sequence using backspace. So I'm not going to do all of these, but I'm going to speed it up a little bit and then I'll show you the end product. And I'll show you the steps we do next. Alright, so I'm going to stop there and I've just added maybe like 4 or 5 photos. So the cool thing about this effect is you really don't need to make 4 cuts per picture or video. You can even just chuck in an extra photo at the end. You can just add it one frame. You really don't need to make the cut. So here I'm just going to literally add another 2 photos at the end. It doesn't really you don't need to make 4 each time. So the last thing you're going to do is you're going to click it in your sequence just on one of the photos. You're going to go up to File. You're going to go New. And then you're going to go Adjustment Layer. Press OK, that's the same settings as my current sequence. Then drag that adjustment layer into V2. And we're going to do 3 things to this adjustment layer. And this is just to kind of make all of our clips the same, have the same effect, just so we bind them all together. So click on your adjustment layer, go to the effects, and search for tint. Drag that in, you'll see it's made it black and white. This is cool, you can kind of stop here if you want to, but I'm going to make mine have a little colour. So here it says map white to, so just click on that, and then I'm going to go to a kind of yellowy orange hue just to kind of make it look a bit retro. Press OK, and then I maybe drag that down to, let's say 74, whatever, it's random. Okay, that one's done. Now you can search for noise. And if you scroll down, it's just under noise and grain. It's just this one that literally says noise. Okay, and I'm going to maybe add 20% noise. That's maybe a bit much. Let's do 10. And then I don't want color noise. I want it to look retro, so we're just going to uncheck that one. Okay, and then last one, you're going to go to Lumetri color. If you don't have this, you can go up here and press Window, and then just tick Lumetri color here. And then under the Creative tab here, you're going to go Faded Film, and you're just going to drag this up a little bit. And for me, 50% looks 50 looks nice. So last thing we're going to need to do is we're going to nest everything. So all I'm doing is I'm holding down left, and I'm going to drag to select everything. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to select Nest, and you can name it what you want. I'm just going to call this Shutter. And then what we're going to do is we're going to right click. We're going to go speed duration, and we're going to go down to maybe about 50-40%. It doesn't really matter. And the reason I haven't done this before is because I wanted it to be one frame each time just to make it easy, and then I can control how quickly I want it to shutter through after. So press the space bar, and we can see that it's gone through. It's a little bit laggy, but it looks pretty cool. And you can change the speed and duration by just right clicking, speed and duration, and maybe upping it, lowering it. I'm going to put it to 30 just to show you what it looks like. It's a little bit slower, but it still looks really, really cool. And there we have it. That is literally it. It's a super easy effect. I often just export this and then drag it into my regular sequence of my music video, and it's as simple as that. Anyway, if this helped you at all, please like and subscribe. Chuck a comment on my video. I really appreciate it. Safe.